Hello all, welcome to study 73 of the Solving Studies to Improve Chess Calculation series. This is another one from Frédéric Lazard. The first one was really hard. I hope this one is going to be easier for you. It's a very interesting endgame study. And as always, if you haven't watched the guide, so you are better prepared for the practice. And after the countdown, I catch you up again with the solution. And here we are back, and the solution, the first right move is, of course, knight f4 check. So the idea is we want to win with white. So the first thing one should think about is how is it possible to win? And the technique to solve this more simple study is to really think, if I could play any move, where would I be able to place my knight so I can win? Because I am threatening to promote 2 pawns, of course, but the rook is very well positioned, the king is approaching very fast, so it's not easy. But if you think a bit on that approach, well, if I could place my knight everywhere, well, maybe here is a good choice, because here I'm threatening to promote the G pawn, and here I'm even better because I can promote each of the pawns. So after I being able of analyzing until this possible solution, then I just think, okay, how can I get my knight over there? And then I see that there is a very good candidate over here, and because the knight is here, well, there's another one to be able to go to this simple square. So okay, and lucky enough we have a check in the path, so checking is the obvious choice. So now the king to move, it has two choices. Let's see just first the easy one. If it comes to g5, we already know that we want to reach e6, so check. The king moves, for example, to f6, now threatening both pawns, doesn't matter. I go to d8. Now, as you can see, I'm blocking the rook from controlling the promotion of the pawn. So if the king takes one, I simply promote the queen to the other, and now I am playing this queen versus rook endgame. Another tip, if you haven't dominated the technique yet, you can watch my series on the queen versus rook masterclass, uh, and it's game over. If the king takes the other pawn, well, I even keep my knight over here. Coming back to the start, okay, I deliver the check, and now the king goes to the other side. Again, the idea is to protect, of course, the pawn while trying to reach one of these possible squares. And now black plays this one. So here, black is not threatening to take the pawn, of course, because otherwise I could promote the other. But it's asking the question, of course, how can I continue to let's say, for example, I remove my knight, then it's a check, and then I can take the other. Like, for example, if I go over here, well, this is a blunder because I simply can check the king moves, and then I take the pawn. So I need to think a bit better. But it's not hard because I simply promote to a queen. So now I have a queen, which forces the rook to take, and only now I go with the knight to f8, so blocking back the rook from controlling the promotion of the pawn. And as you can see, there's almost nothing black can do, but there is still a simple small trick. Black plays g5, rook g5, and now it's white to play. Can you find the solution? Yes, very. You need to be careful, because if you simply promote to a queen, the rook will check our king, so sacrificing the rook, and when you take the rook, ta-da, the king can't move, is not checked, so it's a draw by stalemate. So even here we need to pay attention. So we can promote to a queen. I hope you have also seen this, and we need to sacrifice our knight, because suddenly we are controlling the checking square for the rook. Of course we are sacrificing the knight, but anyway, if the king takes, I promote to the queen. So again, the queen versus rook in the game, and if the rook takes, the same goes with the queen versus rook endgame. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this one. This was far more easier, I think, from the previous one from Frédéric Lazard, the French chess composer. And I see you again with future studies. Bye bye.